Chapter 7 of The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman by Shahrazar Ali. Family Relationships. The family relationships of the black woman must be examined if the black man desires to know what circumstances and personalities produce her. Hold on. If her parents and siblings were hellraisers, fighting and arguing all the time, the black man can be sure it will be a rocky road living with her. The black woman can only live what she knows, and there is no magic to a wedding ceremony or marriage certificate that will instantaneously correct her ideas about how life should be lived. Her home life and prior relationships with men during her childhood will have a great bearing on how she treats her husband. Human behavior is the result of training, repetitive instructions, and familiarity of environment. The black woman is known to take her family side against the black man if push comes to shove. If a member of her family does not like her man, she will often ask the man to be nicer to that particular relative, so the relative will form a better opinion and accept him. She is more apt to concede that if a family member dislikes him, there must be a legitimate reason, than to stick up for her black man and try to get her family to change. She is easily swayed by her family to believe that her man's faults are so visible that everyone he contacts can spot them. She also has the tendency to try to force the black man to live up to the requirements of her family. She will consult them, confide in them, and take their advice. Sometimes she will refrain from making a decision on her own until she checks with her family. Many of them consult their family on every instruction the black man gives. She is known to take her family's advice on everything from keeping house to bedroom protocol. Sometimes, if the black woman is angry with the black man, her family will adopt the same attitude and side with her against him without even knowing his side. The black woman also has a tendency to take sides with her mother against her father. After all, he is still just another man. The black man is generally thought of as wrong no matter what the topic, especially if he's not doing something the black woman wants him to do and does not have an acceptable reason for abstaining. The black woman extends the same privileges to her girlfriends. The relationships with her friends are of vast priority and importance because she can count on them to give her sympathy and understanding about her problems at home. Black women lie for each other when it comes to covering up or supporting a story to the black man, and they feel no guilt about it. It is another club rule. It is a given among black women that some things cannot be presented or discussed in front of a black man. They call this girl talk. The men prefer to call it what it is, gossip. They will stay on the phone for hours discussing and debating other people's problems. They will yak around the clock. But there is another level of conversation that the black man does not hear and does not know exists. Most of this is classified as some more girl talk, but it is of a more vile nature, and filthy language and references are exclusively reserved for the discussion of black men. This conversation is protected from the ears of the black man because black women know the subject matter would shock and appall him. It is during this conversation that black women laugh at and make fun of the black man and brag about the successes of their tricks played on him. They laugh how he talks, walks, dresses, what he does for a living, and how he performs in bed. All black men get grouped together during these sessions, and they have no special loyalty to any man, whether he is their husband or not. The black woman has perfected the art of deception, and she can fool the black man into thinking she admires something, and then later on with the girls, she may go back and tell them what a fool he is. Whenever the black man manages to win an argument, gets his way, or make the black woman submit to something, she calls in the troops to discuss the problems and get advice on how to handle it. The worst result, the worst was result is that she will have to admit the black man is right. So she searches and researches among other women until she finds a solution. She stops at nothing to prove him wrong. It may be days later, but she will not drop the issue until she gets him to admit he made a mistake or doesn't know something. They will also devise a very intricate and deceptive test among their friends or relatives. They believe themselves to be the ultimate test givers, and the black man's actions under the rules of the test determine the grade he receives. She will set the black man up to see if he will respond to the sexual advances of another woman. She may use a family member or a friend he doesn't know. Whatever the appointed actress reports is what the black woman will believe. She naturally believes a woman who claims that her man tried to seduce her or made a pass at her. This confirms the suspicions she has had all the while, and all hell breaks loose. The black man is so trusting that he is surprised that they actually set him up. He must remember that he cannot trust her. Left to her own warped devices, she will create confusion and put the black man in hell about it by blaming him. She cannot be trusted, nor can her motives be trusted, until she is trained, and she is hard to train to behave properly. Sometimes the entire family structure is tainted with wrong ideas and wrong treatment of the black man. Her family will show misplaced loyalty to her by using the principles that blood is thicker than mud. Men will be men, and the nigger ain't shit. These principles are not always at work in his family. But the black woman is perfectly comfortable saying negative things about the black man to his mother, who also belongs to the black woman's secret Allegiance Club. Sometimes the mother will agree with the daughter-in-law, be sympathetic, and tell her how to handle him. All black women are familiar with the experience of trying to get a black man to do something and he refuses to do it. Therefore, all of them understand the predicament of trying to live with a defiant black man. The one who is a hindrance to the happiness of the black woman. While black women believe that they would change if the black man would, they use the excuse that since he won't change, they won't either. This attitude drains the lifeblood out of the black nation. The black man has proven history of being in charge of his woman and his nation, and he does not have to be ashamed of his nature just because the black woman claims she can't follow him. She is the loser in this. The mystery, intrigue, and suspense the black woman perpetrates must stop. She uses behavior modification techniques on the black man to force him to go along with her ideas about how he and she should be. Her ideas are clouded by Western society ideas, but she thinks that her opinions and ideas come from herself. They do not. As a result of not having any ties to her cultural roots, she is open to any and all suggestions from any other race. She thinks that how she is natural and that her ideas are from a sequence of mathematical events which have evolved to produce who and what she is today. No nation can rise when the natural order of the behavior of the male and the female have been altered against their wishes by force. No species can survive if the female of the genus disturbs the balance of her nature by acting other than herself. The black woman does not accept the real definition of who she is. She thinks that she has several choices of how she can be. She chooses randomly, and if her choice proves to be unsuccessful, she chooses another. She may adopt several kinds of lifestyles and purposes during her adult tenure. She claims religions and opinions as easily as she changes her shoes. She does not realize that her floundering purposes destroy her nation and create unstable offspring. No family can be successful if all the members have different belief and value systems. There must be an agreement on the unity of purpose and goals. The purpose must describe the principles by which the family will reach the goals. What blacks have in their family relationships now makes for disconnection and scattered family ties where there are no overall laws which are respected by all of the members. Thus, the black woman, being the first teacher of the family members since they are all born of a woman, must instill in the family children unified training and rules. There are some black women, as a result of emotionally traumatic childhoods, who do not get along well with their parents, especially their mother. They have been known to talk to her very disrespectfully and treat her badly. They are inconsiderate to her wishes and desires, and have become so used to talking to her roughly that they do so in front of other people, who may be shocked and outraged that a daughter would treat her own mother in such an awful way. Many of these women are frustrated and blame their mothers for being the reason they are so confused and or unsuccessful in their adult relationships. Others treat them badly because they think they are in the way and try to butt into their business too much. No matter what the reason, no black woman should treat her mother, the one who brought her in the world, with disrespect. Albeit, albeit, albeit there may be just cause for the adult daughter to feel regret or hostilities. It is not right to verbally or physically abuse old people. Many older blacks are financially unable to support themselves or are too ill to live alone or just desire to be with their grown-up children. When it is possible, the older parents should be allowed to have quarters in the same house, nearby, or even in the attic or basement of the home of their children if they have no place else to go. Extended family members should not be rejected as useless because they are growing older, have ailments, or do not want to live alone. Neither should the black woman hassle the black man because he treats his mother better than she treats hers. Lifelong disagreements should be discussed and settled with the black man being the arbitrator, if necessary. The black woman can have no real place in her own life if she is carrying unresolved hostilities or grudges against her own mother. This also goes for her relationship with her father. Often, black women who grow up without a fatherhead in the house or who grew up overhearing her mother defame her father's name or saw activities she deciphered as bad treatment against her mother by her father do not know how to live with a black man in peace. She brings a hidden agenda to the relationship of distrust and sometimes hate for all men, which may be deeply rooted in her childhood experience with her own father or other menfolk in her household. A black woman who was raised in a broken home environment has no masculine mentor by which to pattern her behavior towards her own man. In this kind of situation, the only example she has of how to treat a man comes from television, movies, books, magazines, plus her friends' experiences. She will have a tumultuous time adjusting to living with a man daily and treating him properly. She will be defensive, secretive, and suspicious. She will also be combative when challenged on her actions towards her man. She will also have a difficult time raising her sons and daughters because she will not know how to teach them their proper and natural roles in life. Try as she may, unless she is given new instructions and information from another source, she will revert eventually to her own mother's behavior traits, even if she currently deplores the way her mother raised her. It is all she knows. By the time she studies, listens, and learns how to behave to make her relationships successful or raise her children properly, it is often too late. The relationship with the man may be irretrievably damaged, and the children may be grown. In addition to the wasted lifetime spent fighting against her man, she will be sending her own children off into the world ill prepared to get along with their mates. Thus, the perpetuation of inherited culture of family maladjustment is passed from one generation to the next. And problems of not knowing how to mate successfully are then compounded by racism. All of these bad habits result in the black community being disorganized because none of the inhabitants know what they should be doing or why. The family structure remains the primary institution of learning. The black people in America have commenced to recognizing and acknowledging the fact that blacks do not know their history, where they came from, and therefore have no collective sense of direction about where they should be going. However, since no acceptable explanation or definition has been adopted as of the official doctrine, blacks remain emotionally disabled and psychologically disjointed. Over the years, the terminology has changed. The styles of expression have changed. And each generation of blacks continue to point outward, blaming socio-economic pressures as the culprit. The last 300 years have theoretically been spent identifying the problems. Little has been done to eradicate them. The American government has been powerless to intervene on a social level to straighten out the black family. It is not their responsibility anyway. It is the black man's responsibility to straighten out his own family, starting with the black woman. When he corrects her, he corrects his entire nation. He cannot do it alone because he does not raise the children by himself. He can set the example in his own home by treating his woman and children right, being obedient and respectful to his own mother and father, and becoming steadfast in his determination to make a change. He and the men closest to him must meet and honestly take a look at the status of the black family and their interpersonal relationships, and perhaps make agreements to change in their homes. Backpedaling around the issues and continuing to be scared of the black woman has no place in getting this job done. The black woman is in shambles because she does not understand the principles of familyhood. Family secrets. If the black man asks the black woman too many questions about her family background or about what is going on in his own home or in her day to day life, he is charged with being nosy or trying to get in her business. Black women keep secrets and assume that certain family activities and information are none of his business and do not affect him. If pestered, they try to convince the black man that his inquiries are connected to his nagging and prying ways. The black man has every right to know what's going on in his own family and his own home. If he does not know the internal workings of his own household, he is at the disadvantage since he has a plethora of responsibilities to his family, from protection to support. He cannot do his part when important minor or major information is kept from him. Sometimes the only way the black man knows what's going on in his own home is to ask the children or wait until somebody on the outside tells him. He is sometimes treated as an intruder in his own house. Black women enlist their families, children, and girlfriends to keep information away from the black man. Interestingly enough, they all cooperate in her scheme to keep the black man from knowing the real truth about his environment. The end result of a black man living and sleeping in quarters where he is not privy to what's going on is chaos. Usually the man is aware of certain ideas or activities floating in the atmosphere of his home or her home, but he does not know the origin. All of the involved parties profess denial and remain closed-mouthed out of loyalty to the women. The more he presses to find out what's really going on, the more determined she becomes to keep secrets from him. Some are better at this than others. Lying is a practice literally all black women participate in. Some of the lying goes on for years. It is a foregone conclusion that certain information and topics are purposely adjusted for the ears of the black man. The black woman claims that she keeps secrets from the black man because he doesn't understand or can't handle it, or that he won't like what's going on and give her a problem about it. She knows that certain kinds of foolishness and nonsense will be unworthy of his support, and he will fight against it. Therefore, she thinks the only way she can operate and do her thing is to keep him from knowing about it. The black woman's methods of depriving the black man of necessary or crucial information are multifarious and subtle. If she's lying about something, all of her transactions are predicated on the black man not finding out about the truth. Her ability to cover up lies and disguise the truth is impersonal and matter of fact. She feels no guilt. Lies are a bleak necessity in her life to continue her tragic defiance against the black man. In rare moments, she may look over at him and see him struggling to live with her lies and sneakiness, and may experience a glimpse of compassion. She knows she has lied for so long about things that it is impossible to go back and tell the truth or erase them. For as far back as she can remember, she has been tricking him and playing some kind of game on his mind. Sometimes she lies just to keep him busy trying to figure out the truth. It is like a game to her. The winner gets to have his or her way. Sometimes she lies because she believes that a few little white lies spice up the relationship and make it more interesting. She defends lying by claiming they add to the excitement and intrigue of keeping him guessing. She never considers the kind of unhappy, miserable personality it takes to need lies as a stimulus to make a relationship successful. This is some more nonsense she learned from television and magazine stories. In adhering to the theory that lies are permissible, she must also reject the authenticity of right and wrong. Her modern state of the art values tell her that nothing is all right or all wrong. She deals with the situation ethics. She lies or tells the truth depending on the situation. She obeys or is disobedient according to the situation and is agreeable or disagreeable according to the situation. She has no overriding principles governing her life whereby she is able to observe and make a determination about validity and use of that decision as a constant. Her judgments are spontaneous and change. She is ruleless. If she catches herself being too nice to the black man, she calls herself back to order because she does not want him to take her for granted or to decide that anything he does is okay with her. She has been told somewhere that black men like it when you treat them badly. And the fact that he keeps coming back for more makes her conclude that this must be true. She doesn't consider that the black man keeps coming back because he loves her and hasn't given up on her. She never really believes that he loves her because she thinks that whether or not he loves her is dependent upon whether or not he is attracted to another woman. And if he does become attracted to another woman, that is the proof that he doesn't really love her. She doesn't feel safe and she doesn't feel qualified to be completely loved for being her natural self. So she keeps up a front around the black man because she thinks that in her front is better than the real her. She is a strange human animal and a prime example based on her thinking patterns of the remnants of the limited mental and emotional development allowed during slavery and the need for complete secrecy of one's ideas. She represents the genetic mutation created from that period. She naturally rejects any explanation offered to her about the cause of her ambivalence. Yes, the job looks insurmountable. Her problems are rigid, and she is possessed by an evil that is not her own. She is held mentally captive inside the barriers of Western civilization ideas and practices. The mentally imprisoned black woman must be freed and called upon to rise and accept the reprieve offered to her by the black man to reunite her with her nation. The black man must be firm in this. He cannot practice weakness or be wimpy. He must take charge with as much force as required because it makes no sense to practice non-violence during war. And there is a war of the worst kind going on between the black man and the black woman over who is going to be the boss and who is going to lead the way. There is a severe penalty awaiting the black woman if she persists in fighting her battle through the children and in the bedroom. The black man must take on this challenge. The black woman's voiceless brain is crying out louder and louder for him to conquer her and to fight and destroy the ferocious demons inhabiting her head. These demons are in the form of bad ideas and bad morals. He must remember that she is not as tough as she acts. She is mostly a lot of mouth. She can be a number of things as already proven, but she cannot be a man. Let me repeat that. She is mostly a lot of mouth. She can be another number of things as already proven, but she cannot be a man. If the black man commenced a national project to put the black woman back in order and under his control, he will not be interfered with because the whole world knows that the black woman has been out of control for an inordinate length of time. The black man is the only one on earth who can restore her to herself, a beautiful, righteous woman, wife and mother. End of chapter 7.